Went through, oh yeah.
Was it chemical?
Well, no, lung.
I mean, from smoking.
Oh yeah.
See, I had asked Teresa, see, I coached Dennis. And I just wondered if it was inhaling all that chemical.
He's pretty
No,
good about
no,
bringing
no
us
smoking.
something.
See, she didn't even want to smoke.
He introduced me
Oh.
to
One right
mint
after another.
and
See, I
fantastic.
gave
Have you
money
ever
to
had a
them.
mint in there?
We called her to find out how to do it.
I like mint real well.
Where's the K-State?
Sad deal. What did they
That
give
was one of
him?
my
They give you
How long?
new things.
Oh,
to
he's
do.
through.
I can only get him a whole
He's back
person.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Trying to get you over
Yeah,
there.
he
He did.
No, he's doing
I said,
good.
"Where's Dennis?" Because he always calls me coach. You know, Dennis.
Generally,
had his
somebody brings
brother's
treats like ice cream
Jimmy's
or cake and
attitude. Dennis has been
drinks
professional.
every now and then. And
Me?
Todd
Jimmy
gets up to the store
Stubb,
and just pushes
Dennis
it out
Walker.
there. So
It's back for the
not bad.
collection.
Oh, yeah, he's got a collection bag.
I know Dennis told me the last time Jimmy got in trouble, he said, "That's it. I will not help him."
Yeah. He was,
Have these
pretty
expired
upset
too?
with it.
And I know what happened. on that deal.
Is that why you brought those mint M&Ms that time? They
Oh,
were
yeah.
expired?
It was
Oh, man. I like them though. Now I'm
They had
hooked.
drug money, and I picked up Hey It Does before
What
when Eddie
position?
lived there.
What position you play in that class? What position you play in
In defensive end and offensive end. You know Dennis?
that? Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
Dan knows him well.
He was the go-between between Joe and
Yeah, Jimmy.
Joe would send him over there.
Jimmy played one end, and Dennis played the other.
Jimmy
On
did.
his brother,
No, I don't know his brother.
and then there's Robbie, and then on offense, Dennis was an end, offensive end, and Jimmy was the toughest son of a, one of the toughest I'd ever coached.
Doing fine. A lot of talent on that team. If they'd had a coach, they could have gone all the way.
Watch your mouth.
Call,
I'm in the Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that.
I'm in the Hall of, what'd he say? What'd you tell him?
Yeah.
I said you
Very
invented
good.
Wildcat offense.
Call the meeting to order. If Joe would call the roll, determine we have a quorum.
Royster here. Holder.
Here.
Camus.
Here.
Bixler.
Yes.
Sutter.
Here. We do have a quorum. The chairman determines, and we have 100% attendance. I ask you to look at the minutes of May 14, 2013. You taste old?
Oh, a little
Stale.
I thought the peanuts were a little low.
Purchases the whole.
You do. He's, you nuts are a little hard. Because Ed didn't open the OSU ones.
No, he wants to take them home and give them the treat.
I know.
Mother's Day's coming up.
No, Father's Day. He'll take them home, that's what he'll get for Father's Day.
Let's read the minutes. Matt.
I did.
Are they all right?
Well, it was just you and me and Ed here. And it was either my name or your name on everything. Did you approve them?
I can't move to approve, so you guys are gonna have to approve.
I move we approve the minutes.
Motion to approve by
I
Bixler, second by Camus. Discussion. Anybody have any questions? Call the roll.
Sutter.
Yes.
Bixler.
Yes.
Camus.
Yes.
Holder.
Yes.
Royster, yes.
Motion's approved. Sonia, any reason to enter an executive session regards to economic development?
Including you.
Probably so. Great.
Is there a motion to enter an executive session
Move.
for economic development? Motion by Bixler. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Royster. Discussion. Call the roll.
Sutter.
Yes.
Bixler.
Yes.
Camus.
Yes.
Holder.
Yes.
Royster, yes.
Can we tell Lynn approximately how long it'll be? Do we have any idea?
Now, further and do the same thing. that, to protect those pipelines. Well, you know, the reinforcement, he's gotta do that twice. He didn't need to put the Y, right, I mean, he didn't need to enforce, so to speak, at that first point. He's gonna have to go east and do it again. Now, I know there's two commissioners very upset over this deal.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Well, there's the, I don't know what you call it.
Just to finalize our executive session, there's not anything that we need to vote on at this time regarding to bringing in any additional companies. Item 8 is approve or disapprove Ken Mayer, the CPA, to perform an annual audit.
Kim is from Blackwell. She is who does the authority and the committees audit, and she's agreed to do our audit. The price would be similar, so it'd be less than $2,500. I think there's only one other guy, maybe from Woodward, that does NOEDA's, that handles this type of board's audits. But anyway, she's willing to do that, but we have to agree for her to do it. She won't know what kind, an actual factual price until she sees our bylaws and knows if it's a single something audit. So
But we can represent to the board that it'll be less than 2,500.
that's what she said.
Okay. And if it's more than that, we'll just have to bring it back to the board. Is there a motion to approve Kim Mayer to do the annual audit?
I move.
Motion by Holder,
Second.
second by Royster. Discussion? Anybody have any questions? Call the roll.
Sutter.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Camus.
Yes.
Holder.
Yes.
Royster, yes.
Financial report is item number 9. Lynn, do you have a copy of that?
No, I don't.
You're gonna here.
Thank you very much.
Todd, will you address that, please?
Yes, Todd.
Sure.
No.
I'd like for everybody to peruse through there, and if there are questions, I'd be happy to answer the questions. It's pretty self-explanatory. Any expenditures that we had from the last board meeting have either been insurance or park improvement.
Okay, yeah.
And we insurance, and it have either been either those two, that was done since our last board meeting.
Our insurance was paid before that. Our only thing is our clear span payment and our rock payment.
The rock payments.
Those are the only two.
All of the rock went into improvement of the park on our properties, so.
I guess on the last page, that income from Martin Marietta, 24,000, was that for the month of May?
That's for the month of May.
And as of this date, have they paid that?
No, as of June 11th, they have not. We'll generally get a payment from them around the 15th.
And do we have any indication what the month of June's going to be like? I guess we just
Got a
wondering.
train
Today,
today.
Is that the first one for June?
actually, yeah,
I think it is the first one for today.
it was yesterday.
Martin Marietta.
Yeah. On page 2, on the profit and loss, under engineering, you'll notice that that is a negative number, and that is the portion of engineering that is yet to be paid by Burlington Northern for Rob under the change order on the Y, and that's because we haven't billed them for that yet. That part hasn't taken place, but it shows up here because that's included in our park improvements total, so it has to be reflected somewhere. Just so you don't.
So have we paid that 10,000?
No,
It'll be a
it's not
pass-through.
due yet. That's why it's reflecting that way.
And when it becomes due, we expect,
We will have payment from Burlington Northern before it's paid, because that's their portion.
We'll reap the benefits of the improvement.
Right.
is the Y completed?
No.
Yeah.
Expected, when it will be done?
They were saying June, but with the storms, they pulled some crews, and now we're looking at maybe possibly August.
My understanding, they won't even give track works a date yet, so.
Yep.
The dirt work's done, it's just now laying the track.
Right.
Question.
Candace?
The road that Martin Marietta uses, did they put that in?
Yes.
They're pretty particular, aren't they?
Well, they put it in, it's on their
It's
lease,
on their
it's
side.
on their side, on their leased property.
I just heard something about it. They sure don't want anybody driving on
No, it's on their lease
They,
property.
yeah, they would be able to control it.
it. Okay.
Other questions about the profit and loss and the financial statement?
This profit and loss statement, is it running from January 1 through May 31st? Is that the date?
No. It's all of ours, since they're on audited books. That is from start to finish,
From inception.
from inception.
So that's many years worth?
Well,
But we don't have many years.
it more than a year, less than two.
Right.
And when the reason for that is during the construction phase and the grant phase, everything was coming together until we had an audit,
And
have
our
a
fiscal
definite-
year ends June 30th.
June 30th.
That's when that will change.
That's when it'll change, yeah.
Other questions? Motion to approve the financial report.
Move.
Motion by Bixler,
Second.
second by Camus.
Gotcha.
Discussion? Questions? Call the roll.
Royster, yes. Holder,
Yes.
Camus,
Yes.
Bixler,
Yes.
Sutter.
Yes. Executive Director's Report, Sonia.
Until Winoka goes in.
I don't have anything further.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions of Sonia before we move on? Item number 11, discussion and possible action regarding Terracon.
Terracon is the company that's doing the environmental study for moving the creek. If you'll remember, we have to relocate the creek at some particular point in time. It's a very long, tedious, time-consuming process with many different steps and layers. They have completed one or two phases, and we're now ready for the third phase, which is the study, I guess, of the creek and the amount of water that it could potentially flow. They come in and they look at how much like driftwood is there and how much grass is displaced and all that in the creek bottom and how far, and its potential possible to do that. According to the people who have started this study, the very best time for them to do that is June and July, because of the traditional lack of rainfall in there. That we stand a better chance of getting that through, unless Stan's got hay on the ground. And so it's my recommendation that we do this phase of this study. That's they estimated that between 2,500 and 3,500, I think, is that right, Sonia? Something like that, to do that particular phase of this study. We have to get it to this point before the federal government can make a decision of yes, we can do it, no, we can't. Am I speaking right?
We want to do it under a national permit like we did the concrete. I don't know if you already said that. Rather than an individual permit.
What unit in the federal government?
Corps of Engineers.
And they're on board?
Well,
This is what's going to
Put 'em
put them on board.
we have to.
requested this.
We have to do it because we're wanting to change. If we don't do it, we will lose a lot of our real estate because of how winding that is. I mean, it takes out 5 or 6 of our lots.
But is there anything that, from a time standpoint, that requires us to do it right now? Could we do it a year from now?
We can't. Well, it determines on where we locate people. I mean, everyone we're talking to is wanting to build in track and build in long track. And you can only do that where so far, and then this creek impedes us from doing that. It keeps us from being able to offer that real estate.
We need to get the meander out of it. Is what it amounts to. If he's right, this process, this amount of money should get us to the point that the Corps of Engineers will tell us if we can do it under a national contract, national permit, which is substantially less than going about, which is the other phase, and I can't remember what that's called.
An individual permit.
Individual permit.
And if we have to do it that way, then you get into a lot of public hearings and
if we can do it
a lot of cost.
If we can do it this way, it's far less costly as far as to do it. Can we do it a year from now? I think we can. The problem that I see with it is if we don't do it, it will inhibit what we can put in place as far as rental space between now and then. Even if we do this portion of it now, it may be 8 or 9 months before we get an answer from them. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to take quite a while to get an answer from them. So we might be putting ourselves out 2 years if we wait a year to do it.
He said it's a year-long process, and we're like 3 months into it.
And do we have any estimates what making that channel straight, taking the meandering out, has anybody even given an estimate what that would cost?
I actually don't think we can even determine that until we
know how much.
until we know what this study is going to. I think that's what we'll know as soon as the Corps says yes, you can do it under a national permit. Then we can. I've never done this before, but that's what they're telling me.
And tell us how much, because if we're able to retain some of it and work with it, and less channeling, I guess, that we have to do, if we're able to retain some of it, that will, of course, save us money. But if we're not,
And they determine how much rainfall and how frequently it would be used, and whether it's going to inhibit, or whether us moving it is going to inhibit something down the road, some town from being flooded or whatever.
So is this a cost share with the Corps of Engineers? Any share or,
At this point, no. I can go
for this
first.
permit that Todd's talking about?
The cost share is if they allow us to
If
do
they
it
allow
under
us.
under the national contract instead of going through the public hearings.
You're gonna have to go through the Oklahoma Water Resources Board for a permit too? Because if you change that channel, some farmer or rancher down the line's gonna say, you altered that, now we don't get our water.
They will,
I mean, that's,
that's what they will tell us.
okay.
Of course, I don't think we're not damming,
No,
anything, we're
I
not
get
inhibiting
difference.
it,
It's free flow water.
we're just changing the direction of the meandering on our property, not as far as it affects anybody else. It'll still exit at the same, approximate same location.
Should exit the same amount, should exit the same location, so.
Right.
Maybe.
Well, we should exit more water because we're gonna have less meandering and there's less water. Now, I'm not a hydrologist, so I can't tell you for sure, but it would appear to me that there would be less space. It's gonna cover less space on our property, so it should move more water out. I am not a hydrologist.
Then after this is done, this company, Terracon, then we'll go out on bids to make the corrections that they suggest.
Todd, can you tell us about how many gallons it will change the flow?
No.
You don't know that?
Is there a motion to employ Terracon for environmental study between $2,500 to $3,500?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Holder. Is there a second? Second by Royster. Discussion? Debate? Call the roll.
Royster, yes. Holder,
Yes.
Camus,
Yes.
Bixler,
Yes.
Sutter.
Yes.
How
Item
many
number,
more lots and can you get them leased quickly, so we can pay for them?
I would love to. I would love to. Infrastructure, I mean, you know how long it took us
Yeah.
to build the siding?
Yeah.
I would like to know what our tax increments will be, because we should be able to get some tax increments next year. Hey, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps.
item number 12, discussion and possible action regarding election of officers for the new fiscal year.
I nominate Ed as chairman.
And I appreciate that, but I did announce to the board about 90 days ago that I still want to be on the board, but we have several people that are capable of being chairman and holding other offices that
Second.
I'm not willing to serve.
That's too bad.
Well, I consider it an honor to be able to serve for 2 years, and I think it's time for somebody else to step up. And I don't know, I don't know if I can make a motion as a chairman, but I think everybody should just advance one position. Stan would be chairman, and Joe would be vice chairman, and Les be secretary treasurer, and
No, I'm not secretary treasurer.
secretary.
He's
And
treasurer.
Todd, since he is the banker, keep him as the treasurer. But that's up to the pleasure of this board.
What do you say, Mr. Bixler?
I don't like that idea. Way it work, like it at all. You have to serve 1 year still.
12 meetings.
Those are big shoes.
You're the professional, you're a professional.
You know what they always told
You're a
me?
businessman.
You never
What
want
did
to
he
follow a
propose?
legend.
On clarification, does advancement mean change?
It does.
Except for your position.
Except for Tom.
Except for you. You get to stay treasurer.
There's some people that need more practice in their particular position, so.
So he said, Big Star for
Did you hear what I said, Joe?
And Joe.
You never want to follow a
Vice.
legend.
Yeah.
And Lester.
You want to be the second
Secretary.
guy.
It'll be okay.
And Ed for second.
And, yeah,
Joe?
He'll still be on the board.
and Todd.
We still go to him for
Are you
advice.
talking about Joe will have to follow a legend if he takes
That's
it?
right.
No, I'm
Exactly.
not. No, we,
And by the time that rolls in, I'll be dead.
Do you want to do these individually? You want to do it as a slate?
Anybody, we can do it as a slate unless somebody objects, and then we have to do it individually.
I like Chairman Sutter's idea. I would make the motion to it.
Motion by Royster. Is there a second?
I second.
S,
Second
I
by
don't care,
Camus.
Stan, you're the man.
Discussion?
You've got Ed's phone number.
So can I hear a reading of who's gonna end up where?
that has not been determined
There's
yet.
been a motion by Mr. Royster to make Stan Bixler chairman, Joe Royster vice chairman, Les Camus secretary, Todd Holder treasurer, and Ed Sutter would be what?
Second secretary.
You have to be a babysitter or something.
There's been a second.
No problem.
I seconded it.
Is there any more discussion? There has been a second. Is there any more discussion?
He threatened me.
May call the roll, Joe. Roll.
Sutter.
Yes.
Bixler. Vote for yourself.
Can I abstain?
No.
No.
Yes. Or less.
Camus.
Yes.
Holder.
Yes.
Royster, yes.
Congratulations, Stan.
You like that?
I like
Yes for less?
Yes, for less.
Yes for less.
They'll take place, our first meeting in July, because that's our fiscal year, correct?
I hope we have a lot of business coming in, so
Yeah.
the next 30 days.
Any remarks?
Any new business before the board?
I move we adjourn.
Any remarks by citizens? Lynn, you're,
The only Susan.
do you have anything you'd like to share with the board?
No, I'm content.
Get yourself.
I've got it in my phone.
I'm changing numbers. It'll be a private number.
Len, we appreciate the exposure that you've given the project
Yeah, thank
a
you.
lot. Your pictures have been priceless.
Good.
We think that is important to let Northwest Oklahoma know that we're here and we're in here for business. And Valerie, your career's been very good to us. But we also received a nice
That
article
was
from
good.
AC.
Yeah.
Could share that with you.
Citizens of Wood County are very proud of this project. They, every place I go, they ask.
Who wrote the article
What's
for
going on?
Oklahoma?
Great.
I didn't even look at it.
Bonnie Hawks.
Oh, yeah. She lives in here, so she's the youth, the SA chairman.
Is there any other business to come before this board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move.
Chairman recognizes the motion. We're adjourned.